Good morning. I am grateful for the chance to share my story. So, I was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. My family went to a Black Baptist church that was in church every Sunday morning and a lot of the afternoons. Yeah. So it was a natural step for me to get baptized at a very early age of 8 years old. Honestly, I think I did that because I wanted to eat the crackers and drink the juice. When the pastor asked me why I wanted to get baptized, I answered, because I love Jesus, and that was good enough for them. So anyway, I grew up and went away to college in Alabama, and I fell madly in love with a fellow Ohioan. After graduation, we moved back to Ohio, here to Cleveland. That's where he grew up. We joined the Baptist church that he had been baptized in, and this is the church where I had my first sign language class, which later shaped a big part of my future. Unfortunately, after about 6 years of marriage, the love of my life fell out of love with me. I was blindsided. I was still madly in love with him. I was completely devastated. We had gone to our pastor and his wife for marital counseling, but for me, it felt like my husband bared every one of my flaws in that first session. I felt like I was there, like naked and just exposed for every single flaw. The pastor assured me, don't worry, he'll have his turn in the hot seat. That never happened. He never came back. So I wanted the pastor to force him to come back and make it fair, but that didn't work. That didn't work out for me. But I will say, this is probably what led to my first experience of church hurt. I was so disappointed that counseling was not balanced or what I considered to be fair, and like my flaws and vulnerabilities were used as tools against me. We ended up divorcing, and my ex-husband married another lady 3 weeks later. That left me broken. But that devastation drove me closer to God. I have been praying so hard for my marriage, even though the answer to that prayer was not a yes. I developed a deeper relationship with God through the act of praying so much. This relationship was no longer just wanting to eat crackers and drink juice. I learned that even if the answer to my prayers is a no, God still loves me, and I'm precious to him. I stopped going to that church that I had went to with my ex-husband. At the time of my divorce, I was enrolled in the interpreter training program at Cuyahoga Community College. In my studies, I ended up finding this small deaf church that I went to have exposure to sign language. But I ended up spending a lot of time there, and that pastor gave me a lot of scriptures to meditate on. He also offered me the opportunity to be baptized as an adult who fully understood the message of Christ. So I was baptized there and became a member of that church. It was such a stripped-down version of what I was used to in church. There was a lot of emphasis on Bible study, and I love the encouragement to get to know God through the Word and not from the music of a choir or from the sermon. Unfortunately, that church ended up closing, and that led to my second experience of church hurt. So I was kind of done with church and the people and the traditions. The only way you could get me to go to church was if they paid me for a sign language gig. Then I was there. Eventually, I saw a story about momentum on the news, and I was drawn to the non-traditional setting, so I decided to visit. I visited every so often, and then I started going fairly regularly. And then I went to Mo 101 and committed to going to a Mo group, 0 to 60, led by Nicole Gates. I loved getting to know the people and um, discussing God's word, discussing it in a conversational way, as opposed to just hearing it preached. In that Mo group, there was a person there named Sarah Taylor, and she mentioned that the lights team needed someone to help set up and tear down the lights every Sunday. So I started doing that. I joined the light team there in the theater at Cinemark, and every week I was carrying those heavy cords up and down the steps, breaking a sweat for Jesus. I just didn't know that that was a way that I could be serving God. It was nice to be able to serve God in a small way, that even in that small way, no matter how tiny, you can help other people find out about the love of God. I have been able to serve in other areas at Momentum since then, and I just appreciate that even myself, with all of my flaws, imperfections, can serve in order to show people the love of Christ. Momentum has been such a great training ground for me to learn how to serve people, and I'm thankful that Momentum has been there to serve me through some of the toughest times of my life. When I came to Momentum, I felt loved by God, yes, but I did not feel loved by people. God spoke to me through the sermons and the interactions and helped me change my perspective. The prayers and gifts that I received through some of the toughest times of my life, like the loss of my mom and my own battle with cancer, those things were so immeasurable. There is a story in the Bible, in the Old Testament, about the Israelites fighting a battle. Whenever Moses would have his arms raised, they would be winning the battle. But when his arms would be lowered, they would be losing the battle. So when he was tired, he had two friends that came and literally held his hands up for him when he was too tired to do it. That is what Momentum has been to me and helped me to be for other people. Thank you.